Hello, my name is Pavel Kravchuk and this is my 1988 Volkswagen Golf Rabbit. The car is silver gray color and it sits on some knockoff Einkai rims with some Neckis tires on all four corners. The car started its life out somewhere in the late 1980s in a West German factory. Since then it's been imported to America and has been through a few drivers. One of those drivers was my brother-in-law. I got the car from my brother-in-law and I traded it for a quad. The car came to me with a bad clutch and a bad transmission bushing. I replaced the transmission bushing because it affects the way you shift into first gear. When you go into first gear, it grinds a bit, which also could be due to the bad transmission synchros. I plan to replace those if I have the time. About the bad clutch, I'm probably not going to do anything about it because I'm going to make it even worse. And then once I learn to actually drive manual good, I'll just replace the clutch. Saves me some money and it saves me some time. The car handles pretty well for a 30-year-old car. I have cut the springs, which serves two purposes. It lowers the car, thereby lowering the center of gravity, and it makes the ride a bit stiffer. Now, this might seem fairly oxymoronic, but in racing tense, this does make the car more stable, especially in corners. The downsides to this is it is harder to drive around town, especially over speed bumps where there's quite a jolt. Despite all the great things about the chassis and the car overall, the car does lack in one area: power. The stock factory 1.8-liter four-cylinder engine does lack it. The lack is very noticeable when going uphill or in high altitudes. My plans to remediate this lack of power also coincide with my future plans for the car. I plan to do a Mitsubishi Frankenstein swap, which consists of a 4G63 block and a 4G69 head. I also plan to convert or take over some of the Mitsubishi parts, such as the transmission, the differentials, and the turbo and the intercooler, and all the other supporting mods. This will give me a four-wheel drive, 300 horsepower Rabbit. The power to weight ratio is going to be fairly insane because the car weighs almost nothing and yes, 300 horsepower. While in today's time this might not seem like much, this actually is a lot. I won't bash on the car too much. While frankly speaking it is quite a turd, I do like it. It is my first car and there is something almost empathetic, some sort of bond that I have with it. It's my first car and I plan to take it on many journeys. Who knows where they lead me, but hopefully I could find some roads untraveled and see what path I take and see where it could get me.